you may think that your future looks bleak.
Mom's in jail and the power's out.
What if we lose the house?
You guys know what's great about being in here? It's therapeutic.
That's great.
I mean, forget school. I'm about to give up going to college.
Probably thinking I may as well make meth or rob a train.
I'm gonna rob the train.
What?
So, how does one rob a train? We board the train, pick boxes.
Where'd you get all this?
Do you want the stuff or not?
I am Pacific Railroad's top investigator. I typically take down criminal syndicates. Overnight, this operation has gone from erratic to the most sophisticated I've seen in my career.
What are you thinking?
Our felon father is in the backyard.
Sir, you cannot go back there. Sir, please stop.
We're so screwed.
We're gonna be so rich.
I'm confused. You are not nobody. You are a badass who robs trains. There's kid. What? Laney!
That cracked my case.
Are you sure about this? Sure about what? Oh, you mean the robbery that we've been planning all week? Yeah, I'm sure about it.
Let's keep it going for Ashleigh, everybody.
Hi, thank you. Thank you very much.
Whew. Josie is in the house today.
What's up, though?
And just to make you feel at home, the CW sent me some cat ears, which I'm gonna try on right now.
Please.
Just for you.
I'm so jealous. Like, you don't even understand. I'm so jealous that you're wearing those. I wish I had some to put on.
Well, I looked in the mirror before, and I think you pull them off a little bit better. So,
I mean, do what I can.
I'm gonna leave it to you. But before we get into all the Riverdale goodness, woo!
Yeah, that's what I like to hear.
For Riverdale, you have a new Netflix film out.
I do.
Deidra and Laney rob a train, and I've watched it this week, and it's so touching and hilarious and thrilling at points. And I think it's one of the few train robbery movies that is fit for the whole family.
Yes.
So give us a quick preview. Who is Deidra? What predicament does she find herself in? And what can we expect from the film?
Deidra is a tenacious 18-year-old girl. She lives in a small town, and she feels like she's far too big for that town and also her family. She's a little bit put upon. A lot of the struggles that she goes through, she puts herself in those situations, but also her mother doesn't necessarily help. So when her mom loses her mind and goes to jail, it's up to Deidra to look after her sister and her little brother. And there's only so much she can do. And her lovable deadbeat dad manages to drop a little nugget in her mind, and she's like, oh, I'll just rob a train. Why not?
As one does.
Exactly, as one does. And you see how the ridiculousness of that idea plays out. And it's very real, and it's honest, and it was easily the best, it's the most fun that I've had in a really long time. Even just like, look, my little bean. I love her, I love Rachel. But yeah, so you see how the craziness of them deciding to rob the train plays out, and you also see how the family comes together, and she realizes that she does need her family, and they are peas in a pod, and there's nothing wrong with being who you're afraid to be. You know, a lot of times I felt like reading the script, Deidra and I had a lot in common, where I come from a small town and I felt like I was too big for it, and sometimes I felt like my family didn't understand me, and that was a misconception. You know, as kids you think your parents don't actually want the best for you, and when you miss the bus for the 15th time and your mom says she's not going to take you to school, and you're like, I hate you, but you should just get up on time, Ashleigh. So I relate to that a lot, and I think that the story about that very subject and the love between the sisters is really pertinent.
Was that personal identification with the role what drew you to the film? How did you get involved?
I actually was in LA. We were doing Mondo shoots for Riverdale, and I got a call about the audition. And I remember I went in and I did it, and I thought, oh man, I'm totally not gonna get this. Like, I'm not right for this. And then I got a chemistry read call back that same week, and that's when I met Rachel. We were sitting out in the waiting room, and I didn't even know it was her. And there was this woman with this double wide stroller with 2 twins in front of it and like 2 twins behind, trying to wedge her way into the bathroom. And so I got up and I helped her, and when I went and sat down, Rachel was like, I'm so glad you did that because I watched her struggle and I didn't do anything. I feel like a terrible person. And I was like, yeah. And that was it. And then she went in the room and we read, and the second that I saw it was her, I gave her a huge hug and I called her what I call her in the movie, Glitter Bunny, and it was just kismet ever since.
Yeah, you two have a real chemistry. And the crux of the movie is about family and accepting each other where we're at. And you were talking to me backstage that while filming, you sort of developed a sisterly bond offset as well.
Yeah, Rachel and I were very close. She's actually a lot like my younger sister as well. A lot of the things about her, the sweetness and the goofiness, and she was always so excited to see me, and I loved that. Her energy matched mine. And a lot of the jokes that we would share with one another, nobody else would get. And we would be on set at 4 o'clock in the morning on the train, backing up again because we have to get this shot and we're cold. And we would just sit there and rock. There's actually a scene in the movie where we're kind of rocking on the train, and I didn't even realize that the camera was rolling. We were just keeping each other company. And it's still that way to this day. Like, I stay with her when I'm in LA sometimes, and I know and love her family. It's a real bond. I'm very lucky.
Yeah, let's get up for that.
Thank you.
You know, there's a real natural feel between you two. And what struck me about the film is that you two aren't defined by some male counterpart. No one has a crush. No one's chasing a boy. It's really about these sisters, this family, and you trying to provide for everyone. Was that refreshing as an actress to take on a part
It is. That's another thing I've been very lucky in. The projects that I've been able to work on exemplify very strong young women and exemplify them in a way where they're not being told that they're bossy or they're sassy or they're aggressive. You know, just because you emote and you have a feeling doesn't necessarily mean that there's something wrong with that. And the fact that we don't need a male counterpart or just a counterpart to make ourselves feel like we have our own self-worth. We find it on our own, and then we also find it in each other. So, yeah, it was very, very important to me, and it struck me. Oh, gosh, I'm having flashbacks. It's definitely something that I take pride in myself. I'm a very strong, conscientious young woman, and when I say I don't need someone to tell me that, it's not standoffish. It's just that I know what I'm worth, I know what I'm capable of, and I'm not going to let anybody stop me. So, yeah, that's the story. Those are the kind of stories I like to tell.
Is that difficult at points in Hollywood? I mean, it's notoriously an industry that pigeonholes actresses and wants them to play a specific type of roles. Have you come up against that, or have you been? You seem pretty lucky with Riverdale and this film as well.
For the jobs that I've landed, I've been very lucky. But I will say that there have been auditions that I've gone on where, you know, sometimes you'll read a script or you'll read the sides, and I'm country, okay? I'm from Kansas City, Missouri. I got a little twang in me, all right? I'm super country, and I grew up on Ebonics, so I can speak that language. And when somebody tries to put something on top of it, and it clearly, like, words don't even go together that way, and there's this idea that, oh, well, she's a cute little black girl. She can probably say it. That's the kind of stuff that I want to stay away from. I try to stay away from certain rhetorics that don't actually portray our community in the way that it is. Like, the reality is, I was a teacher when I was 15, and I was a legal assistant for 3.5 years. I've done so many things. I don't fall into the drug dealer's girlfriend, you know? So, yes, that is something that I have run into, but I've been very lucky to book things that speak higher volumes than that.
Right, and I think this film really bucks conventions when it talks about representations of poverty in film. And so often we see people struggling in movies, and it's unrelentingly tragic. There's sort of no lighter moments. There's no humanity. And what I appreciate so much about this film is that you see the family laughing together. You see them sort of giving each other, ribbing each other. There's a real humanity to these characters. Was that attractive to you when you were kind of looking at the role?
Absolutely. And quite frankly, our director, Sydney Freeland, even in the audition room, she let us just play. She was like, just talk to each other as if you're sisters. And when we were on set, it was the same thing. You know, we would follow the script, but sometimes something would come up and we would ad-lib a bit, and it was very natural. And it was very, very enjoyable. Yeah, absolutely.
So what sort of message would you want someone watching on Netflix, a young woman maybe, to take away from Deidra and Laney Rob a Train?
What I would want someone to take away from this, specifically young women, is you have a strength and power in you that is unparalleled by anything in this universe. You know, we have this gift of creating life. There's so much power in... do they not hear me talking? That's so rude. What if somebody's dying? I'm so sorry. I would want, young women to know that you do have a strength and you can succeed. It doesn't matter what background you come from. It also doesn't matter what you look like. You have to be able to not allow someone else's perception of you to drive how you grow and how you progress. So that's what I would say. That's what I would hope people get from that, among other things.
Well, everyone can catch Deidra and Laney Rob a Train on Netflix now.
Yeah.
But in the meantime, you are also starring on Riverdale as Josie.
I am.
And we have a clip that we're going to watch, and then we're going to get into it.
Oh, okay.
Mom, Valerie quit the Pussycats.
Replace her.
Val writes our songs. She's irreplaceable.
No, Josie. You're irreplaceable. Everyone else is disposable. You know, maybe it's not such a bad thing to try a new voice. A different sound. You know how your father feels about pop music.
But it's not pop music this time.
Well, he's catching a red eye and missing 2 concert dates to see you in this variety show. I would hate for you to let him down.
I understand, and I won't.
Good, because if you do, he will somehow blame me. Find yourself a new cat. Someone skinny and beautiful, but not more skinny and beautiful than you. And a woman of color. Please, Josie, don't forget our branding.
Okay.
And Josie, don't disappoint.
Let's give it up for Riverdale.
I'm literally about to cry right now.
What is it like watching that?
It's so surreal. I've been working so hard and so long just to have that, and I still can't quite digest it as a reality. And I grew up watching Robin Givens.
Right? Oh my.
Like, what is life? Like, I just can't. I get very emotional when I see that. I won't. I'll try not to. I feel like my face is beat for the gods. Like, I can't ruin it.
You know, I was reading somewhere that before you got the part, you were considering giving up acting for a bit. You were behind on the rent for your New York City apartment. Talk to me about where you were pre-Riverdale and how things have changed for you since.
Pre-Riverdale, I was a struggling actor, like a lot of actors are, and I had gotten to a low that I had never been before. I was $4,300 behind in rent, and I was selling my personal belongings just to buy groceries for the week, and I ran out of things to sell, and I was trying to work 2 and 3 jobs, and I just wasn't making enough money. And the last job that I worked was at a restaurant, and I got robbed by an employee 3 days after my birthday at that restaurant. And it was all the money I had. It was $186. And I just sat on the floor and I cried. I don't think I've ever cried that hard in my life. I just didn't know what else to do. And I didn't want to leave the city. I knew if I went back home to Kansas City, I wouldn't be able to pursue what I'm doing now. So I made the decision that, okay, I'm going to go back to work full time for like 6 months and get my finances in order and also save enough money so that I can leave it and just live off of my savings and continue to pursue my career. And even then, when I did that, it was still hard to say, no, I've got that itch, and I see that audition coming, and I'm like, okay. And then when I went on the audition for Riverdale, it was going to be my last one. I was like, okay, this is it. I got to go back to work. And the next day, I was told they were pitting me for the role, and then it was, okay, we're flying you to test, and I'd never tested before. And my reps were so nervous because it's such a big deal. And even the head of the studio, when we rode the elevator up, he was like, are you nervous? And I was like, no, not really. He was like, but this is the part where everybody messes up. And I was like, it's a really good pep talk. Thank you. But I wasn't. I was way too tired and broke to be nervous. And I was just thankful to be there. I was thankful that WB now knew who I was and saw what I was capable of. And if this part wasn't right for me, then there would be another part. I have an unrelenting faith in myself that this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm good at a lot of stuff. I am. And I can do anything. But this is what I love, and this is what I feel like I was put here for. And I got the role, and I'm now living this dream that I've spent so long to get to. And I'm in a place where I'm living in this city. I've been here for 9.5 years. And in that entire time, I just kept thinking of the day I'm going to come out of the subway and my face is going to be on a billboard. I'm going to be able to go and have coffee with my friends at 2 o'clock on a Tuesday because I'm not stuck behind a desk answering a phone. And I just held on to that. And now that I have it, it's such a breath of fresh air, and to be so lucky to be a part of something that I really do truly love and care about. We all do. I love Archie comics. I love Josie and the Pussycats. Like, it's a real love, and it's been that way for so long. I grew up reading Archie comics, so it couldn't have been more perfect. This is exactly how it's supposed to be.
Yeah, so I was curious how familiar you were with the Archie universe and Josie. What was your impression of Josie growing up reading her?
You know, it was the way that a lot of the portrayals were. You know, she was kind of ditzy and, you know, she was driven, but she would come up with a plan but didn't know how to do step 2 and 3. And it's like, that's what she's got her Pussycats for. It's like, okay, guys, I got us in the door. Where's the light? You know, so that was kind of how I saw her. And I did watch the movie. My younger sister, is a huge fan of it. So we watched it a lot. And I actually really loved it. I thought Tara Reid...
I love that movie.
Oh,
criminally
God.
underrated, in my opinion.
I think so, too. But yeah, actually, it's funny. And I think I've spoken about this before or tweeted about it. MAC Cosmetics did a Archie's Girls line of makeup. And I remember walking down the street in Soho, and I saw the huge decal of Archie, Betty, and Veronica, and I snapped a picture of it, and I saved it on my laptop background, and it was that for 3 years. And then all of a sudden, here I am on the TV show, and it's like, I knew it. Oh, God, I love it. And I would reread my comics all the time. They're just all wrinkled and messed up. I love this. I love Archie.
It was meant to be.
It was.
You know, and so for those who've seen the new version, this Josie isn't maybe the Josie that older generations of Archie comic readings might recognize. I remember the creator of Riverdale was saying he sort of modeled Josie and the Pussycats after Destiny's Child. So what was it like to take Josie in this new direction?
Actually, it was fun and it was easy. It was easy because the way that Roberto views Josie is the way that I do, and the way that I want to. I try to push on, you know, this idea of, oh, she should be really smart. She should be really driven. She shouldn't, you know, take any, she's no nonsense, and very confident. And I think that's what was most important to me, to portray someone who's really confident, because oftentimes confident young girls are mistaken for bossy and bitchy. And it's like, no, I'm not being bitchy. I just don't have time for that. And it's as simple as that. And if you have a problem with it, you have a problem with it. You know, when you're confronted with someone who's confident and you aren't, a lot of times you project that insecurity on them and make them feel bad about knowing who they are. And I want Josie to embody that power to say, well, if you don't like me, that's fine. People won't, but I'm going to keep doing this thing. I'll see you later.
You know, and I think that power is infectious because I was going on your social media yesterday, and it's clear how much it means for your fans that 3 women of color are playing Josie and the Pussycats.
Yeah.
What has that reaction been like for you?
It's been really good. You know, I know that there are people who don't care for it, and I understand that. And, you know, I empathize with that. And at the same time, it's a cartoon. You know, like they didn't live, breathe, and do things and then die. You know, but I get when you covet something so close and it's changed, it's hard to accept that change. But we're also not, it's not a caricature of anything. You know, we're not creating a gimmick. We have a love for this music and for this band the same way that the characters in the books did. And quite frankly, I related to Jughead more than anyone when I was a kid. I loved Jughead, and I didn't have to look like him to feel that way. So that's how I look at it, and I just kind of tune out all the other negativity. I don't want to allow that to dampen anything that I'm doing and what other people are enjoying.
Well, I'm a huge fan, and you are killing it, I gotta say.
Thank you.
And Riverdale's a huge hit. It's already been renewed for its 2nd season.
Yeah.
Yes. You know, this might be a little early, but looking to the future, would you be interested in a spin-off? Have there been discussions about Josie and the Pussycats on their own?
There has been discussions and wishful thinking. And quite frankly, I would. I've been quoted saying that I didn't want to, but it was solely because I don't want to live without, like, they're my family now. You know, we talk all the time. I love them. And to start this journey and then be pulled into another place, I know that's what happens, but I don't want to not be in school with Betty Cooper and Veronica Lodge, but I'll do it.
Good, on the record, she'll do it.
I'll do it. I would absolutely take a spinoff, yes, because I want to bring Josie to New York. Like, I want her to have her first big city experience, so yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, now we have some fan questions.
Hi. I feel like you want to hug me.
I really do, though.
Let's bring it in.
What's up, Mama?
Nothing. I just want to say I like that, all that right now.
Thank you.
You're making me, like, I have this energy, like, this weird, good energy,
I can see
like,
it. I can
in the
feel
room
it
right now because you're here. I just want to say that I'm trying to start off my actress career because I want to be an actress and a singer. What advice do you have for me? Because so far it's been really, really difficult, and I'm really struggling. I just want to get in there and just, like, get into that acting business.
Well, don't lose that hunger. It's really, really important because it is hard. It's always going to be a struggle. It's never easy, and you really have to love the art more than the fame, more than any of this. It can't be about any of this. It can't be about the followers. It can't be about the likes. It literally has to be about the story that you want to tell, because that's what you're going to have at night to hold on to. What I will say is, do you know if you want to do, like, theater or TV?
I want to mainly do TV.
Yeah.
Because, like, I've been thinking about this since I was, like, 7.
Yeah.
Like 7, but I started singing when I was 5. So it's like, it's been a big passion of mine.
Stay with it. I would also say study. Go to school for it. It doesn't matter. It can be a 4-year university. It can be a conservatory. I went to a 2-year conservatory here in Chelsea.
I'm trying to go to St. John's.
Girl, you better do that. Yes, no, study. Go to see shows, go to see movies, keep yourself educated, keep yourself enthralled in that art. Go see live performances. Even get up if you can, like, go do like a live set somewhere where they have, you know, open mic night. Just expose yourself to that and get used to that and find that love and find that passion. That's what I would suggest. Also, have other things that you love too, whether it's cooking or, like, writing or karaoke.
I love to write.
something that's going to keep you grounded, because when it is tough, and it will be, and when it is dark and you're sad and you're like, why did I choose to do this? Have something that's going to keep you grounded and keep you centered so that you can reset and go back at it again.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome, love. Good luck.
Thank
advice.
you. You too.
Thank you.
Our next question.
Hey, thank you for being here.
Thank
do
you.
you and the cast do anything fun off camera?
Oh, yeah. Actually, we all went ice skating together. We went ice skating in Vancouver, and it was so funny. Cole shows up, and he's got, like, on a mask and, like, a freaking scarf and a hood up, and I know it's him. And we're all kind of standing around, and he says 2 words through the muffled cloth, and then all of a sudden 18 people came out of nowhere. They're like, oh my God, are you Cole Sprouse? Like, how do you know? How did you hear him? We do a lot of things together. We go out and we have dinner together. We go to the movies. You know, we are friends, and we find ways to get together as a group. And if we can't because some people are working, then we'll just go in like little pairs and go brunch or shopping. Actually, Mads and I go shopping a lot. She's my shopping buddy.
Got one more question?
Oh, I guess it's me. Well, first of all, I just want to say that you and the girls are super fierce as Josie and the Pussycats.
Thank you.
But with that, where is your inspiration for Josie's fierceness coming from?
Is it conceited if I say me? You know, honestly, it is. I get it from myself, mostly because I look at Josie and I think about where I am personally, where Ashleigh is, and the confidence that I've garnered through life. And I just project that into her, because if I had this, what I would have given to have that kind of drive and confidence at that age, I want to put that in her. And I want people to see that, so that if you feel that way, go ahead and live it. That's where I get it from.
Well, I think we are done.
Okay.
Everybody go home after this interview and watch Deidra and Laney rob a train.
It's good.
Yes.
It's really good.
And Riverdale returns to the CW on March 30th.
Yes, yes.
Woo, give it up.